This video will talk about evaluating equations. The solution to an equation is a value for the variable that makes the equation true. So we can check our answers once we plug in and chug, then we can try it again using our calculator or a table. So here we have x plus 1 is equal to 0, and we want to evaluate it for x equal -2, -1, and 0. And you literally just plug in for x whatever you see. So the first example we see is -2. So instead of x, we have -2 plus 1 equal to 0, and we want to see if that is true. -2 plus 1 is going to be -1 equal to 0, which is not true. So we would say that -2 is not an answer. If we tried -1, -1 plus 1, we want to know if that's equal to 0. Well, -1 plus 1 is 0, so 0 equal to 0, we like that answer. And we have to try them all, so we go for 0. When x is 0 plus our 1, do we get 0? And 0 plus 1 is going to be +1, so no, that doesn't work. So the only answer that we have here is x is equal to -1. If I wanted to come over here to my calculator and let it do the work for me, then I would literally just put in what I said. Like the first case, -2 plus the 1, press my enter, and I get -1, which is not 0, so I don't accept that answer. Then I try -1 plus my 1, and just let the calculator, I can let it do the calculation for me, and I just have to compare then that my side, I just did this side, -1 plus 1, and I want to compare it with what I found over there. I got 0 on this side, and it's equal to the other side. Okay, let's look at another example. So here we have a little bit more interesting looking equation, but we still want to do the same thing. We want to plug in for x. Everywhere we see an x, we're going to plug in the value that we see. So first we're going to look at x is equal to -2. So to do that, we say -2, and x is being squared in that first term, so -2 has to be squared. -3 times our -2, which is x, and we want to know, is that equal to -2? Well, -2 squared is going to be +4, and -3, remember take the sign in front, times -2 is going to be +6, and that is going to find out if it is -2. 4 plus 6 is 10, so no, -2 doesn't work. So that one doesn't work. Let's try -1. So again, -1, first term is being squared, so our -1 has to be squared. -3 times that x, which is -1, and is that -2? Well, -1 squared is going to be +1. -3 times a -1 will be a +3, and hopefully you can see that that's not going to be true. So that one doesn't work, and our last option was 0. So if we put 0 in here, we say 0 squared minus our 3 times the 0, which is our x, is equal to -2. 0 times anything is just 0. So I have 0 minus 0 equal to -2, and 0 is not equal to -2. So from our choices, there is no solution, but we're just going to say none of these work, because there might be something that does work. It just may be that what we have is not a choice. So let's see what we could do with the calculator in another way. So we come into y equal, and I'm going to put my two sides of the equation, I already have, but you put your two sides of the equations into y1 and y2. So here's the left-hand side, x squared minus 3x. y2 is -2, and then what I want to do is look at a table. Okay, so we go to y equal and put our equations in there. And then we're going to do second and then graph, and it will show us a table. Actually, I want to do one thing first. Let's do second window, and I can tell it where I want to start. Just tell where to start. So second window, and I have table start here. I have it at -2 because that was my first choice for x. And then I can do, so I'm going to do this first, and now I'm going to go and do second graph. So second graph, and I see what I'm looking for is when I plug in this x, the calculator does a calculation, and then I get the answer of 10, which is what we got over here. And I put in -1, and when it does all the calculation, it gets 4, which is what we got. They got the 10 that they expected, we got the 4, and when we do 0, we get 0. So we found all the right answers. It's just that they were never the right one. So how do I know which ones, if there are any, are the right one? Well, I want the x value that will make y -2. That's what we're saying over here. What x's can I put in my equation that will give me a -2 when I get done? So we look over here, but over here at +1 and +2, I see that is y is equal to -2. So these are not the solutions. The real solution, even though that's not what was asked for, but the real solution, and actually it's solutions because there's two of them, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2.